Well, hello there. This is a question to all of you. Does anyone know what a heat pump is? Oh, so I know. So, a heat pump is a little bit like a fridge, but works in reverse. So it takes the heat from the inside your fridge. This is how a fridge works. It takes the heat from inside your freezer compartment, your fridge compartment, and it takes it from the inside of the fridge and puts it on the outside of the fridge. So that's why the back of your fridge is hot. So a heat pump that's in your garden, it takes the heat from your garden and puts it inside your house. It will be very efficient in a hot day like today, where it can do that. It can take the heat from outside and pump it inside. But in the cold, wet winters, it might not be as efficient. Now, I was watching a story about this guy in Sweden who bought a heat pump. I can't remember how much he said now, but he paid about 3,000 euros for it. That's what it wasn't a lot of money. And I'm thinking, well, that's a bit cheap, because in the UK, you're quoted somewhere in the region of between 10 and 25,000 pounds for a heat pump. And he said that he couldn't keep his small house warm enough during winter with just a heat pump, so we had to have an extra source of heat, probably an electric fire, or wood burning. And he said the best thing he did was he spent 25,000 euros on fixing the insulation on his house, and then he was able to use the heat pump as it was intended. So the moral to that little story is, don't waste your money on a heat pump. Get yourself better insulation. Now, the cost of gas is, well, probably about 3 times cheaper than that of electricity. So if you're going to save money on your heating bills, spend the money on insulation and stick with your old gas boiler. But of course, it'll be a lot cheaper to run than a very, very electric hungry heat pump. Now, I've seen all the blurbs. I had a guy come round the house. There was a video that he gave us. He said, "Oh, you watch this," and there was a TV presenter giving all this about how good they are and how wonderful the heat pumps are. And I looked at the numbers, and the numbers, even the salesman said, "Oh, you've got solar panels, so you'll get the benefit of that." Yeah, but the sun don't shine when we're home from work. As you know, Lady Sarah works mostly during the day, and in the evenings she'd be at home when it's dark and cold. So the electric solar panels won't be able to run the heat pump, simply because there won't be enough energy there to do it. So heat pumps ain't all what they're made up to be. Don't take my word for it. Do the maths yourself. Sit down and work out how much it will cost you to run a heat pump, even for a few hours a day, to heat everything in your house. You probably still need a lot of conversion. You need a bigger hot water storage space, because you won't be able to heat it during when the electricity is on the highest peak. You probably use off-peak electricity to keep the costs down. So you need a very big reservoir of hot water, and of course the heat pumps will take up a great chunk of your garden. And the noise, you've got to sit and listen to a compressor and a fan running 24/7 in your garden. That's if you can afford to run it 24/7. So as I say, heat pumps are incredibly expensive, and they're not very efficient, in my opinion. Of course, they don't take my word. I'm no heat pump engineer. I'm just a ship's engineer that deals with refrigeration and stuff like that. But yeah, I wouldn't. If you're going to spend any money on your house, you'd be better off getting a grant or a loan from the local council to improve the insulation in your loft, your cavity wall insulation, and probably improving your double glazing on your windows. If you haven't got double glazing, get secondary double glazing. That would be the cheapest option. But heat pumps, just too expensive to run, really. Well, that's my opinion. Anyway, so I'll catch you all on the next one. See you then. Bye then.